Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's April 27th. We've got another awesome guest lined up for today. If you are just tuning in with us, whether you're live or you're here as a recording, either way, I'm going to give you a little tip. If you text the number 813-296-8553, I'm trying to point at it on the screen. All you got to do is text the letters WUL. WUL to 813-296-8553. And what happens is you get a text message every single time that we go live. I haven't got mine yet. It usually comes about 1 or 2 minutes after we hit go live. And you'll get a little reminder that just says, hey, what are you doing with your morning? Tune in. Come on, what are you doing? And then you can just join. You can literally tap right from the text message. You'll come in. So every single morning, in case you didn't know, we go live with a guest from our community. That could be somebody who went through our training. Usually it's somebody who went through our training. It could be an affiliate of ours. It could be totally random. The other thing that I want to just put in front of you before we bring on our guest, Kelly, this morning is if you would like to be featured, or if you know somebody who you would like to be featured on our show, somebody who's successful, somebody who's killing it online, or maybe they came through our training and they're in a totally different niche or industry. We would love to see that person featured on our show. You can go to legendarymarketer.com/featured. Just because, on our radar of people that we reach out to, we're probably missing some people that would be cool to feature. So you can go to legendarymarketer.com/featured and recommend somebody for the show if they've gone out and got great results from our training. So today, if you all who are and thank you for all the good morning comments in the chat, if you all could give me like a little clapping or round of applause emoji to welcome on our guest all the way from Kansas. Kelly, what's up?
Hi. Hi. Good
How are you?
morning. Doing
Good
all
morning.
right.
Right on. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for asking me. I I was telling Joanne I am still trying to figure out why you guys did, but hey, here I am.
Well, I mean, even from the time where you filled out your even from the time where you filled out your questionnaire, I think you had like 13,000 followers or something like that. And you have 19,000 now. So it's pretty cool. And it's also really fun to see a teacher. Are you still teaching?
I am still teaching. Yeah.
Okay.
I took the day off, so
Super cool. Even in the chat, like Rowena just said, is she the high school teacher?
I
Like
am.
you're literally famous on the internet. That's why we brought you on the show. Well, cool. Tell us a little bit about what do you do for teaching? What do you teach? Tell us a little bit about your bowling career. That would be awesome. And bring us into your world. What got you looking for something to start online?
Okay. Well, I've been teaching business. I've been teaching high school business for the last 15 years. I've been coaching softball and bowling for the whole time that I've been teaching. And obviously
Nice.
teaching is a pretty is a pretty busy life. But one of my favorite classes that I teach is entrepreneurship. I've taught that for 15 years, and my kids really over the last several years have been asking me how people make money online. Uh, I couldn't answer that question. We've for 15 years I've been taught to teach brick and mortar. Our curriculum was always, teach
Wow.
them how to run a shop, teach them how to make t-shirts, teach them how to, various things. But it's
Sure.
to me starting to be a little dated. And so after I'd had so many kids that are like, tell me how to make videos on YouTube and make money. How do people make money on TikTok? Well, I guess I better figure that out. So I started looking.
Cool.
Once I started researching that, that's how I came across the course. So I
Hmm.
joined the 15-day challenge, and like halfway through that, I was like, well, I think I could do this. So I jumped in, and my kids have been basically following along with me ever since. They kind of taught me TikTok. I'd never think I'd been on TikTok one time before I actually got my account going. So my high school kids kind of showed me how to put music in, how to do certain things. It was pretty funny. We talk about it all the time in class, and so they love it. But yeah, so I coach bowling. It's something that I've been doing for a long time. I started bowling when I was, I don't know, when I could walk. My mom was a professional bowler for a while, and so it's something in my blood, I guess. Both of my parents bowled in college. I bowled in college. It's just something we do. So yeah, so that's me.
It is crazy. That's super cool. You've got people from that's like a little bit more rare, I would say, for our show to have so many different people in so many different like areas of your life pitching in and sort of helping. And so when you got on TikTok, started post, well, take us through your timeline. So when did you purchase the challenge? When did you find Legendary, and were you just kind of like searching, like just generally like, how do I make money online kind of thing? Or how did you find us?
Okay, so when I started doing research, I was on Google and YouTube, of course, looking for basically what you can do to make money online. And I knew influencers, affiliate marketing was something that was a pretty viable option. And so I started searching some of that information, and I found a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and they're great. And you can learn a lot on YouTube, but there was no flow to how it was supposed to work. There wasn't anything that I felt like I could just be comfortable going ahead and jumping into that with enough knowledge to get myself started. So anyway, I purchased the, I want to say I purchased it like middle of February. I think I finished the 15-day challenge in like 4 days. I don't know. I like instead of binge watching Netflix, I binge watched the challenge.
I've definitely been there before.
Bonnie was my business plan advisor, and I talked to her so many times, and she was fantastic. I actually had to sell a car to pay for the blueprints.
Wow.
My husband looked at me and he was like, "That's a lot of money." And I said, "Yes, it is. And I think it's going to be worth every penny." And he said, "Well," he goes, "this has to be something that if you're going to do it, you actually have to commit to doing it. Like you're not just going to pay for it and then not do it." And I said, "Well, I'm going to do it," because while I love teaching, I don't like everything that goes with it. The requirements on teachers are becoming quite overwhelming. And I've just worked really hard over the last couple of years and watched my health just kind of decline. So I told my husband, I said, "This is my opportunity to find something that I can do and still teach people, but not be in the classroom." So I purchased the blueprints, and I took 10 days. It took me 10 days to go through everything that I kind of needed to go through to get myself started. And then I set up my back office processes. So I set up my funnel builder, my autoresponder, and some of my emails, which I didn't even have my emails ready when I started posting on TikTok. I was building them as I went, right? Because I'm busy, you guys. So
no, so I love that. That is exactly how you should do it.
I mean, because I really didn't know what I wanted to say. It took me, my husband made fun of me because it took me a solid like 2 or 3 days to do my bridge page video to like get that ready, because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I teach audio video production, and I hate being in front of the camera. It's not something I like doing. Yeah. So my kids always ask me, "Hey, will you do an interview?" Nope, I don't want any part of that. So I got on TikTok. The very first day that I posted on TikTok was on February 27th. And my students and I, every single day, I tracked how many followers I had. And once we got close to 100, one of my students, Marissa, I told them I would give him a shout out to all my budding entrepreneurs. Hi guys, because they're going to watch later.
I love it.
But Marissa was like, "I'm getting you to 100 followers," because I was at like 95 and my goal was to get to 100 before the weekend was up. And so she got me to 100. And then from there, I went to like 436. And then from 436, I went to 1200. And then from 1200, I've gone to, now I'm at 19,000, I guess, or 19, yeah, 19,000, I guess. So it's been a wild ride. But I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. But I have two kids. I have 3 kids. I have a 22-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son who both are on TikTok. And my son makes fun of me all the time because I'll be in the house doing my TikToks and he'll walk up the stairs and be like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Nope, not kidding you.
I love it. I love it. I think, you know, I personally, I just feel like that's one of the coolest, like most inspiring things ever, is to like watch a parent do something vulnerable, hard, new, like that. It might sound cliche or it might sound weird, but like, I don't know, that to me is like that's the coolest thing. It's something that very few parents, I think, take on. And I think it's a really powerful lesson. Like, sure, people learn by hearing things in the classroom or whatever, but like watching and observing somebody model entrepreneurship to you, or like, you know, something like content creation or making money on the internet, like that's a really cool thing. And I just want to commend you for that, because they're really lucky to see that. Like so for instance, like my mom, when I was growing up, I was like, I don't know, I was 10 years old, but she was always entrepreneurial. So she worked a job, but then started a hair salon in our house because she needed to be home with me when she had me. So my dad and she built out a little hair studio in the front, literally the front room of our house. I mean, it was like, I don't even know how this was licensed, but I would wake up in the basement from sleeping in the morning, walk upstairs, and there would be people there. And my mom would turn the chair the other way, like rotate the chair so people couldn't see our like grungy kids waking up, walking through their hair salon. And that was just life. And we had a sliding door, so I was like eating cereal, and you could hear the bowl clanging in the other room. And so anyway, but she then she did that and still does that now, like 35 years later or 30 years later. But she also, what she did when I was really young is she forced me to do a paper route, and she basically forced me to work a job from like 10 years old or something. But she did the paper route with me on we did it on bikes. So we each had baskets and like bags and stuff that we have. And she forced me to do that, and I hated it. But we would wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, and we would bike around our little town and like deliver papers. And I looked back, and I was thinking back and kind of reflecting not that long ago in therapy, and I was like, you know what? Like, I was trying to figure out where this whole entrepreneurial thing came from, and then it just became so clear. It was like, wow, this was modeled to me from basically birth. And it sort of empowered me to try new things or try hard things. Like Dave is always talking about, you know, one of the most valuable lessons that he's sort of teaching his kid right now, or he feels like is valuable, is showing them how to start something, like how to start something that you don't know how to do, and you just do it. And you're wildly successful. Like, I don't want to over like hype this or anything, but you've been very successful in a few months, and it's really impressive. It's really cool. What like learning lessons or takeaways have you had throughout this process and journey and stuff?
What I'm learning is I just need to be me when I'm on, when I put my TikToks out there. The videos that I put out that are authentic and are just me talking and what I would normally do in front of my high school kids or just with my friends or whatever, those seem to be the ones that people relate to the best, and just kind of get. That has always been a strength of mine in my classroom. It's just something I do. I'm really good at building relationships with my high school kids. They just get me. And I don't know if that's my crazy sarcasm or if it's, I'm not really sure what it is, but it's just something that I do. So I find it easier to just get in front of the camera and talk than I do getting in front of the camera and pointing and playing music and doing that kind of stuff. Now I like doing that too, but that's definitely one of the takeaways. Yep. But the biggest one for me was when I built my TikTok, when I started my TikTok on February 27th, I told my high school kids, I said it in class, I looked them in the eyes and I said, I'm going to do this for 30 days. 2 times a day, I am going to do this for 30 days. So they held me accountable to that. They watched my videos. They like my videos all the time. Sometimes they'll comment on my videos. Sometimes they send me, the funniest part about that is they send me sounds. Like they'll send me trending sounds or videos that they think that I should do something like that. Or, nice. They're a big help. They are a big help, but, and
you got a whole consulting firm.
I do. I was like, when we were first trying to figure out like how to get it going, one of my girls, Grace, said, you need to find a trending sound and then just turn it down in your video and put it in the background. And I was like, oh, I need to do that. She was like, yeah, okay.
I love it.
So I did.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Yeah.
Totally. I do it every time now.
Right. Yes. Even if you're talking, just turn it all the way down, because you might as well try to leverage as much of the algorithm as you possibly can. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I will say one of the other takeaways I have is you guys talk about a lot in the courses and the classes and all the videos. You have to take the bits and pieces that you need, and then you have to put them into action, and then you learn more, and then you put that into action. The trouble that I have a lot, I am one of the people who will learn. And in the 30 days that I was waiting to make my first commission, I did get distracted. Like I was looking at all kinds of things like, oh gosh, what else is out there? What can I, I'm waiting. It's like you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs and trying to figure out what you want to do, like what you can do next that might work faster, But the more I looked around, the more I realized it's not going to work any faster, regardless of what I do. I can watch all the YouTube videos I want. I can pay all the money I want to look at other courses or to do whatever, but it's not going to work any faster. So I just put my head down and got to work. And that was it. I just stayed consistent. I posted every single day. And the first time that I made my very first commission was like so little. And I was doing happy dances in my house. Like my husband was laughing at me. He gives me high fives. That's his job. Cool. When I make commissions, he gives me high fives. But yeah, so instead of getting distracted, I just said, okay, what else can I do now? What else can I do now with this business to make it better? And so then I would start working on my emails. I am terrible at writing copy, terrible at it. So I know that I need to get in and watch all the videos on how to write copy. And that's something that I'm working on. I've watched like half of them. And as I watch them, I do something. And then I'll watch another one and then I do something. That's the key. You just have to you have to put it into action as you go.
Wow. Cool. That's super cool. Wow, there are so many takeaways from that. I feel like the thing that really just stood out to me, the way that you explained that, was the process of like, yes, you could go through a bunch more courses, you could go through more courses, more information. But I liked first a commitment, again, like to actually do something, and then the follow through on it. But also like, there's a lot of different, one thing that's like standing out to me a little bit is like, there's a lot of different business models you can run online. There's a lot of different businesses you could run online, but, it's interesting to me that even just in a short amount of time, a few months, you were able to sort of identify the fact that you were able to know yourself and kind of look at the platform, see what's going on, and be like, okay, like I'm going to match my existing skills and my existing what I know, and sort of combine this stuff into a little cocktail and mix it together and spit out some content. And what I find, I'm like a little bit like perplexed or something, but you have sort of this, I think it's confidence. I was trying to find the word, but there's sort of like, but it's not like off-putting. It's more like sort of just like, it feels a little bit like, damn, like she's just doing her thing and like doesn't really care and is like gonna really be her. I think that's it. I think it's like there's some realness. There's some like vulnerability is a buzzword these days, but it feels a bit like vulnerability. And I just think that's super cool. And it's no wonder it works so well. The other thing I wanted to say about the algorithm was you were kind of mentioning how, you know, you can do the point thing, but you like to talk. Throughout sort of looking through a lot of different TikTok accounts and stuff, I do find that people who do a lot more talking and a lot more like sort of self-expression and who are a little bit more vulnerable, but still confident. Like there's a difference between being like, oh, I was up all last night because I was, you know, like I was depressed or something. And it's like people are like, well, I didn't come here to feel that way. Like, you know, there's a difference between that and then like being really honest about you and your process and, you know, whatever. But I do feel like, you know, that type of account and that type of content tends to get shadow banned less, tends to get reported less, rather than just sort of pointing like, hey, I'm just going to point for a few things. And people are like, what? Like, who is this person? And this doesn't seem real or legit or something. As where I do feel like sort of people having a bit of self-expression in their content helps their viewers connect. And there's probably a higher level of quality built into that account. It makes it a better long-term account, less likely to be banned or have your content taken down or something like that, which happens to everybody in every niche and industry, I feel like.
Oh, I agree with that. I get that a lot. A lot of the comments that come up on my posts are, you just tell it like it is. And my high school kids laugh about that because they're like, that's exactly how she is in the classroom. I mean, you know, they step out of line and I'll just let them know what you're doing isn't right and it needs to stop. You know, I'm just very straightforward. I always have been. I think honesty is and being very transparent, it has always been really important to me. So that's just something that I try to bring across in my posts. And you know, I do my best at just making sure that it's me and it's authentically me, because I don't know that I could be any other way. I just really don't think I could. And yeah, the pointing thing, while I have fun with the dances, I don't know, just talking's easier. But like I can get up in front of a group of high school kids or even an auditorium of high school kids and have no problem. But coming on here knowing that there would be adults watching, that's completely different. Like now I'm just like, oh God. But that was the same with TikTok. So no one in my family knew that I was doing this except for my husband and my kids. I kept that a really, really down low kind of thing. I didn't post on Facebook because I was worried that my family would just be like, what the heck? And then I found out the other day that some of the teachers at school follow me on TikTok. Right. And I was like, what? Oh gosh, no.
I know.
Yeah.
How do you, I'm so curious how you deal with that. Like how do you not deal with it, but how do you think about it? Because a lot of times people are like, well, I'm just like, I'm going to do this thing. And like, I don't want the whole world to know because it is a little vulnerable. It's like, geez, like this is like, it's really vulnerable to create content every day. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a real thing. It's like people are going to see you sometimes, you know, with bad lighting or a bad angle or like, you know, and it's just like, you have to be able to deal with that. But how have you, because I feel like you're more open about it than most. I mean, you've got, you know, students and your husband and kids and just people who are just like really in the mix, and you're just sort of like, yeah, screw it, I don't care. How do you think through that? What's your thought process?
Well, you know, at first it was just my classroom kids and my husband and my children that knew. And but then I think my high school kids started telling people, you know, we're going to make Mrs. Roberts Facebook fame. We're going to make Mrs. Roberts TikTok famous, right? Like that was the thing. And when I legitimately had 10 followers on TikTok, all of my kids were like, listen, you're going to be TikTok famous. And I said, no. I'll be lucky if I have 100 followers. Like to get to 1,000, I was thinking it would take me like, I don't know, 6 months to get to 1,000. And wow. Anyway, so now I have other kids that just walk into my classroom and say, I hear you have like 15,000 followers on TikTok. And I'm like, yeah. I told, we were at Easter dinner with my husband's family. And my sister-in-law found out because I shared a video with her on TikTok, and she got my username from there and then started seeing my posts. So we were at Easter and we were talking about it with my family, and my niece, who's like 13, I think, she goes, "You're on TikTok?" And just kind of, and I said, "Yeah, I'm on TikTok." And she goes, "Oh." And I said, and my son says, "Yeah, she has like 15,000 followers." And she goes, "What? Are you serious?" I do.
That's crazy.
I think the kids get mad because I have more followers than they do, and it just bothers them.
Totally. Way more.
Yeah. But I mean, I kept it kind of a secret, but then I went on a field trip with some Future Business Leaders of America students, and we were in a hotel for a couple of days. And mind you, FBLA. I'm committed to, yes, FBLA. And I did a post about it too, but I'm committed to 2 videos per day, and I don't batch create normally. Sometimes I do, like if I know I have something going on, but we were in this hotel and I'm like, I have to make some videos. So I started making videos while I was in the hotel room. And one of the teachers that was with me just was dying laughing while I was over there, like, cause I was doing a lip syncing one and dancing one, I think. And she was just dying. She was laughing so hard. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm making TikToks." I'm just making TikToks. So now I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty comfortable. Like I'm pretty comfortable doing it outside. I'm pretty comfortable doing it in my living room. Like I did one the other day while my son was playing video games on the couch. But nice. Yeah. But I have a 9-year-old that is pretty high needs, and he's part of the reason why this was something that I really wanted to kind of look into, to maybe have a little bit more freedom to be able to spend the time that he needs for me to spend with him too. So that was a big reason. But
good. That's awesome. And I mean, not awesome, but it's awesome that you're doing this for that reason. And okay, so I wanted to also just come back to the fact that earlier, for anybody who's watching and didn't hear this earlier, Kelly basically, like, I don't know what this looked like, but sold a car to purchase our blueprints, and without giving any sort of crazy income claims. Basically, your income wise, you've basically recouped that investment, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Really close.
Yeah.
And that's basically been the last 30 days for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Incredible.
I know.
And I'm guessing from just how your account looks and stuff, it's really been recent. Like it's really, really, have you ever tried going live? Just curious.
Okay. So I went live one time for about 10 minutes.
Okay. Cool. I was just curious. Curious because I feel like the reason I was going to ask that, and we could talk more about it, but the reason I was going to ask is just, this whole journey of, I feel like you've got a very inspiring story, a one that's filled with confidence and bold risk taking. And a lot of time, Dave and I talk often with people on things like Decade in a Day or in the blueprints or at masterminds, for instance, right? Like we talk so much about how people in universities and people in schools are filled with people who have never done what they're teaching. So it's like, I'm not a perfect teacher. I get that. Like I didn't take teaching. I don't know. I don't have a degree in teaching.
It doesn't prepare you. You're fine.
Right. But we just talk so much about how it's such a difference maker to have somebody who's a teacher who is actually willing and committed to living it out and sort of doing it themselves, and how that changes teaching. And I felt like, you know, if you get up in front of a classroom already and teach people every single day for a job, it's like, dang, like, you know, you going live, it would be easy, like super easy for you to do. You know what I mean? But you've already sort of supercharged. Your account is on fire and your whole business is on fire. So congrats on that. And just as a final, you know, for everybody who's listening, I'm just because she's had a killer 30 days or whatever, I'm not trying to make any crazy income claims. I'm just saying Kelly's on fire. She's, you know, you'd be good to go look at her channel and tune in and watch what Kelly does. That's the best way to learn, I think. So, man, for everybody who's here and for everybody who's newer, they're trying something out. Maybe they're going through the challenge. They're just, you know, figuring out who Legendary is or what the 15-day challenge is or whatever. Like, what would you tell those people? Probably something similar to what you would tell your students, but what would you tell our audience to inspire them or give them a little bit of advice?
I would just say, be consistent. That's the most important part, is being consistent, but also be consistent with your message and be authentic with it. You need to, it needs to be something that you can get across and continue to get across, and just be yourself while you're doing it. You know, I think that's really important, the consistency part of it. And you need to continue to learn but put into action. I've been learning through, you know, reading some books. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's not a weakness. It's actually how you move forward. And so putting yourself out there, it's scary at first. And while it's scary at first, it will help you get where you need to go. So,
yeah. What have you been reading or what have you been learning in the realm of vulnerability? Anything interesting?
Well, Brene Brown, she's great. Daring Greatly is what I'm currently reading. And just in the first like half of that book, I'm just, wow, she's amazing. I've also, I read audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks while I'm getting ready in the morning, because that's like the time of my day where I can actually do it. So like I'm getting ready and I listen to them in the mornings. Cool. And so You're a Badass was another one. I really love that one. And I'm terrible about affirmations, but I've really started to get into doing a daily affirmation multiple times a day, actually affirmations. And I write things down to keep myself where I want to be and know where I want to go. So
super cool.
Yeah. And of course, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, of course. On the note of, I just downloaded Brene Brown's most recent book. I've got it sitting on Audible right now.
Nice.
And it's called Atlas of the Heart. And but I've read or listened to everything by her. She completely changed.
She is incredible.
She's really amazing. Yeah. She unpacks things and ideas. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's the reason I went to therapy for 3 years. and honestly, I first heard her book called The Gifts of Imperfection. And I struggled with shame my whole life. And I read that book and I was like, oh, wow, like there's a whole different side of this that I've never seen. Spent 3 years in therapy and really healed from a lot of that, did some reparenting and then and sort of figured out who I was and developed emotional regulation skills and emotional intelligence through that whole process. And a lot of times people will ask me, you know, like, how did you get this job at Legendary? Like, what's your most valuable skill, right? Like, are you a coder? Are you a web designer? Are you a great marketer? And mostly I think there's probably marketers out there better than me, but I think that the skill that I've learned and developed most is sort of the ability to emotionally regulate and also to be intelligent about emotions and what's going on in other people and in myself, and how to make solid decisions or contribute to decisions in a solid way. And it's a very underdeveloped skill. And I honestly have so much in debt to Brene Brown for that. So
she man, I have my 9-year-old is very he has a lot of emotional issues since he's lived with us for 3 years. And I've learned a lot just about what you're talking about right there. And just trying to teach him how to figure it out, how to be emotionally at a level where we can live a daily life, right? Like where we can just even go to school for a whole day without huge problems. So that's been quite an adventure for me. And I do think that he has changed who I am. He's changed how I look at things in the world and the empathy that I have towards people. And I want to help people do what I'm doing now. Like that's my goal. I want other people to see that kind of success and to not have to go to a stressful 9-to-5 job and to, not be able to spend time with their kids when they want to spend time with their kids. Another big one. My son is a college baseball player, and I never missed games ever when he was growing up, and now I miss him. And that kills me. I hate it because he plays in the middle of the day and I don't get to go see it. So that was another goal of mine, was like, man, if I don't have to teach, I can go watch my kid play baseball. Like, this will be great.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Man, well, cool. This has been really insightful and really like amazing work. Yeah, I don't know. It is very rare these days. So like, I feel like find somebody who's gonna say something, say they're gonna do something, follow through on it, and see it into success. And so, really cool. Thank you, Kelly, for taking the time to come on the show and finding time in your day and stuff. We really appreciate it. This was a really cool episode.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate that. It was great.
Awesome. See you, Kelly.
See ya.
All right, guys, I'm going to put up what I already did put up. It's Building You Online. All right. So you can find Kelly on TikTok. You can find Kelly on Instagram. Building You Online. BUILDINGYOU online. And I always tell people, go give Kelly a follow. Tell her you found her on Wake Up Legendary, and make sure to like her videos, blow up the algorithm for her. And, in a couple weeks when we feature you on the show, we'll do the same for you too. So go find her, follow her, watch her videos, watch her content. Look how she delivers it. Get into the nuts and bolts of how does she deliver the content? How does she start videos? What are the hooks she uses? How does she bring people in? Does she talk, what does she talk about? What are some of the topics? Get some ideas for your own business, for your own content. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, with another awesome guest. Peace out, everyone.